You want it
Hello,
just
everybody. Welcome to Astrology Unplugged. And I'm going to get the chats ready here. Let's see, manage participants. And today is our guest, the Reverend Greg Keene from Lilydale, for his fourth visit. Greg, you are unmuted. And I hit something wrong here. Okay. All right. So, Greg is a fourth generation medium. Is that right?
Yep.
Out of Lilydale. Greg and I go back to about 1982 when I had a radio show, and Greg was a guest on my show once a month. This is his fourth visit with us. He is a psychic medium out of Lilydale, which is one of the top spiritualist centers in the world. And I won't be speaking much. You'll be speaking directly with Greg, and he'll have messages for you. What else can I have to say? I will be giving and posting his local numbers and websites and phone numbers, etc. So if you would like a reading, this is not, of course, for anybody on YouTube because it's being relayed. But welcome aboard, Greg.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to have you once again. This is about our 20th or 30th time together. Maybe we'll get it right once. I told Leslie I was going to blow your secret. Maybe everybody can guess what's going to happen to you two on July 27th.
28th.
So July 28th. Well, congratulations. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
We'll be getting married on the 28th of July, and I imagine it's right outside your home in Lilydale.
Yep, we're going to be up at the Forest Temple, and we're going to be up there and do the service at 1 o'clock, and that'll be a nice energy there, and we just take a short jaunt downtown, and we'll go over there and have a good time.
Hey, looking forward to that. I get a lot of people raising their hand, and Lori says it's her birthday. A lot of things going on. Why don't we start out with, you and I always did share notes. The times that we're going through now, astrologically, can't parallel to any other time. There's never been a time like this. Never. What do you see?
Well, what I'm feeling with it is the turmoil we're going to be having around the presidency and all the voting, as well as the idea of the economy taking a bit of a dump, and all the fantasy people have been in about everything being wonderful and okay. It amazes me how many people can be in that belief system, and I don't feel it and I don't see it, but I can see people wanting to let on like it's all going to be wonderful and, get in the market and be in the market. And I wouldn't want anything to do with the market coming up here.
No, it looks very, very dangerous. And I hate to be a doomsayer myself, but if you just talk the facts, Saturn and Pluto together in Capricorn, and Eris square to all of them, it's going to be putting us through steps we've never been through before. Leslie, you can get on camera if you like. It's all up to you. I'm just easy. I'm just sitting here driving the car. So I'm going to get right to your first one, okay?
All right.
All right. We're going to go with Karen DeBerry. You are on with Greg. Go ahead.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Karen. How you doing?
Oh, it's been an interesting time.
Yeah. What's your question?
I am desperately trying to get a house ready to sell, and hopefully it'll be listed July 1. And I'm open to any advice.
Well, I feel it's going to be listed all right, and I don't see a problem selling it. I just see an energy there that up until the point in time you're talking about, I see some really goofy energies, and you're going to be surging up and down a bit, emotionally involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I see it leveling out where you're going to have things lined up, and I do see someone really wanting it. I can see you working a little bit of a deal where you're going to sweeten the deal a little bit, because I feel you're leaving room to be able to lower it a little bit so they would really, really want it. And I see that working for you, and it's not a problem. I just feel with you that you haven't made up your mind yet exactly where you want to be.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I'm talking where you want to be, meaning the new residency. I see you getting that in hand and having that lined up ahead of time.
I've been trying.
Well, I
It's
see it lining up, and I see it working very well for you. I'm also seeing a gentleman in spirit with you that passed away that I felt when he died. He had problems with chest and heart, and I felt a choking sensation with him. He had a hard time breathing.
mm-hmm.
You'd recognize that?
Yes.
Because I see him with you and supportive of you, and he's talking about things you want to move, because I'm seeing you going back and forth on the idea, do I keep it, do I get rid of it?
Uh-huh. I have a few things that I'm doing that with, and a lot of things I'm just telling them goodbye.
Well, I think you're doing the goodbye thing, and it's working well. That'll be nice. I also feel an energy with you. Left leg, left hip has bothered you a little bit?
Actually, today it's my right leg.
Okay, well, I'm looking at you, and when I see you face to face, it would be the left, which would be your right leg. But
Uh-huh.
I feel the pain in my shoulder, and I feel sometimes your arm doesn't work as good.
Correct.
And I felt the energy of the hip and the leg area, and I feel you get a little worried about going down the steps, because I feel like there's times you get a little concerned about your legs staying under you.
Yes.
And I see that working out better, but I'm seeing you go into a chiropractor, and I feel something's out of alignment. I'm not a doctor, can't prescribe, but something's out of alignment in the lower spine, which affects the hip area. And I
Mhm.
feel sometimes you have a small shooting pain that occurs there.
The more it gets like it's on fire.
Yes.
It's inflamed.
Well, I see you getting straightened around there, and I see you feeling a lot better. I'm also seeing you taking something natural that's going to help you with, the body being inflamed, be it that area or others. I could see you taking it, and I feel it's tablet pill type thing, but I feel it's going to help you with inflammation, and it's going to make you feel better. But I see a natural thing you can take that really doesn't have any side effects, and you're going to find that shortly. That'll be very helpful to you.
Okay, I know what it is.
Okay.
If I could stay in one place long enough, I think I could actually take it a little more regularly.
Well, I definitely feel the need to, and I think that'd help a lot, and it'll reduce the swelling, and it would be something that you'd physically feel more active.
Yeah, I'm working toward that goal.
Good, good. Any other question?
No, I just know I'm growing spiritually. I'm getting a lot stronger.
Well, I feel you're doing a lot better with that, and I felt an energy also. You've been noticing recently your tolerance for people got a bit thin, because I see you stepping back from certain individuals that they love their drama.
Yep.
And I'm seeing you just becoming less available and not get yourself caught up in it. There's a few people you love them and you care about them, but boy, they can make you a little crazy at times.
Not
Yeah.
my monkey, not my circus. Karen, thank you for getting involved here. I want to mention to you YouTube listeners, this gets posted on Fridays on YouTube. In case you're new to this show, this is mostly an astrology show. It's not a class. It's different topics, and about once a month, every 5 weeks or so, we have guests on different subjects, and Greg is one of our mainstays who's on every 4 months with us. If you'd like to join us any Thursday night for free, all you need is a camera, from an iPhone, from an iPad, from a laptop, whatever, and just go to Google and type in Astrology Unplugged, and that will take you right to the link. It's 8 o'clock Eastern. Thank you. Colleen, did you want to speak? I don't hear any response here. Okay, you're next with Sigmund. Sigmund, I will take care of your sound, and you are on with Greg.
Hello.
And I also want to remind you, Sigmund, that you've got a Suzanne and we've got a Suzanne, and our Suzanne has requested a reading. And if yours does, make sure you let me know. You have no microphone. Okay. Well, he's saying he has no mic. Sigmund is here. He's willing to get a reading from you. He has no mic. What can you tell him, Greg?
I feel good-hearted man and a real gentle energy, but I'm seeing him going through a period of backing away in some relationships around him and realizing that he really has become more upset about people and how they live and how they're acting, and he's beginning to really clean house with some people around him and no longer allow it to be there and be a negative energy on him. He's not going to let it happen anymore.
This makes it tough on Greg when you don't have a mic. There are numbers on the screen if you want to dial in with your telephone. You can dial in and be connected to us by telephone. I suggest you do so, okay? Because it's just too hard to do this one-way type of reading. It's just too difficult.
Yeah, we need the voice.
We need the voice. Same with calling. Calling, you don't have a mic. Get in on a telephone. The number is there. We're going to go to the next person, who is Erica. Erica, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Reverend Gregory.
We're actually hearing somebody. Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been very, very busy going through lots of different changes all of a sudden. All at the same time, all too quickly, but it's either wait, or rush sometimes in life. So,
well, the energy I'm feeling around you, dear, is you're making up your mind with some people around you that you'd spend normally time with and energy with. And I see you now stepping back and realizing that there's a few people that I don't want to be that involved with. And I feel like you're changing that energy. Also, would you understand canceling a small trip you were thinking of taking?
Trip?
Yes.
I could understand canceling a small trip, but this is going to be a big trip, so I can't see that because it's all reservations are made and everything.
No, I'm not talking about that, dear. I'm talking about a little trip, and I could see you canceling it because you need time to get everything else in order for the big trip.
I wasn't planning any small trip. We have an event next weekend, which is not really a trip. It's kind of a healing day.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've just been, going to doctors and getting tests and following up on medical stuff before we go away because we're going to South America.
Yes.
And we're going to be in high altitude. I've got asthma. I don't exercise enough.
Well,
I've been out of shape. I've got ringing in my head. I just had an MRI on my brain today to figure out why I have all this brain stuff since last October. So
I feel an energy with you that I want to be very careful about the high altitude. I feel that could affect you in a negative way, and I feel the conditions you have right now are not the best for the high altitude. And I want to please take time to check everything out over there and give yourself enough time to acclimate to what's going on there. Because
that's what we're going to do. We're definitely following the plan where we land in a high airport, but then we go immediately to a lower elevation, and then we step up a little bit and up a little more, and then we go to the highest one before we leave. So we ask in hotels if you need it.
Well, I was going to say that if you're going to be walking or hiking at all, I would definitely take the oxygen with you. In fact, I would load up 2 or 3 little bottles of it so you have it, and that way you're going to be fine.
I'm not going to be climbing. I'm taking the bus.
I feel the need to have it on hand, and I feel you'll be fine. And I'm also seeing decisions also. Now, would you recognize from over there there's a little debate in your trip as to diverting the trip and making a choice between a couple different directions?
Nope. That was before. We thought we might want to go to Ecuador too, and the Easter Islands, and I just thought that was way too much.
Well, I don't mean that. I feel where you're going, what you're doing, there's going to be an opportunity there to change a little bit on the scheduling of what you're doing. And I know it'll work out fine for you. I don't feel any concern.
And you don't what?
I don't feel any concern.
Oh, good. Well, we will have to be flexible for sure. And it's going to be Mercury retrograde the whole time we're there.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we don't speak Spanish, so what can go wrong?
You'll
everything.
be fine there.
I'm sorry, we're breaking up real bad. Is that Erica? No, it's one of our phone numbers. Go ahead, Erica.
Do you see anything for any of my family members, like my brother, by any chance?
I feel he's had a little difficulty with health off and on. And I feel he needs to be more aware of taking care of himself because he pushes things away at times.
All the time. Typical
And I
man.
feel an energy with him. I don't think he'll admit this, but I get a feeling here of physical balance being out of order with him.
I should say so. Well, thank you. That it's good to have a corroboration on that.
Well, God bless you, dear. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. He just moved here with us from Michigan, getting away from an abusive spouse and a terrible relationship that happens to men as well as women.
Well, I don't feel he's got it all, let's say, legally settled, but he needs
doesn't.
to.
He needs to make money for a lawyer to get it all settled, and it's going to take time, but he got here, and within 2 months, he got a job offer. He's got a very good job, and now he's got a good future with benefits, and he'll be able to rent a place here. And it was like magical. It was like kismet,
Well,
the way it happened for him.
I really feel with him it was a blessing, and I know Spirit had it in hand, and they set things up for him that he could make the transitions and have no problem doing it.
He frostbit his feet driving cross country to get here, to get away.
Yes.
That's how awful it was.
Well, we'll put him on the healing list. We'll put him on the healing list because the feeling I have with him is he's actually a very gentle person.
Yes.
And I feel there were circumstances there that he could have put her in jail and didn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. She had too many weapons and was surrounded by too many bodyguards.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot to deal with, but he got to us safely, and she can't get a hold of his paycheck anymore, and he's going to start a new life and take care of, what needs to be taken care of. He's got 2 beautiful children back there, so.
Well, I feel the children are going to separately contact him and talk with him, and they're going to bypass the mother. And
oh my God, she's not even the mother. She's not even the mother.
But she tries to manipulate it. Thank you. God bless. Where are you at, Rick?
If you're going to be on the show, we don't want to hear about somebody you don't like. Okay? It's not the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show is you to work with Greg spiritually. Secondly, if you're going to be on the show, please frame yourself so we can see your face. We want to hear from you, but we don't need this stuff about other people because all it does is add to the poison. Okay, next, I want to try to get... let's try to get Colleen. I know, Suzanne, you're waiting, but Colleen has been trying to get in by telephone. Let me see if I can get her linked
Can
up.
you hear me, Rick?
Yes, you're on now.
Okay, good.
So we got Colleen on the phone, and I know Colleen well. She's going through a very painful divorce, a lot of tension in the family. What can you tell Colleen?
Colleen, you're a sweetheart in heart, and I feel you care deeply about everybody, but I feel it's something that you tried to make a change and help them make a change. And I feel they kept pretending that they're changing, but I feel they turned everything around on you and present to you that it's almost like they would say, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm fine.
Yeah, it's all the narcissist and change. You know, it's the shift and the projection on me.
Well, I think
my main concern is
you to get it all done, and I feel good about you moving forward, and I felt more at peace emotionally. But would you recognize an energy there that they were trying to steal some finances from you?
Yes, a lot of money. A lot. It was in the form of a hobby.
Well, I see them trying to manipulate something financially, and I want to say, let's jump on things here and really get it in order and done, because I feel an energy. They kept referring to it as having to play hardball, and you can't do it soft. You got to do it hardball, and just no longer feel bad or feel sorry for anything they're doing, because I see them instantly the perpetrator, but yet play the victim. And they love the audience to believe they're the victim.
And he pulled that off in court, but it's starting to change, and he's starting to see that he's going to have to pay.
Well, not only he's going to have to pay, dear, but I'll put it this way. I feel he's tried to manipulate the numbers to portray the idea that he didn't have anything and that you owe him. And I feel it's getting turned around now where he has stolen and manipulated things. And I feel a game playing energy with him. And I see him such an amazing liar that I feel if you can show the proof in a tangible manner, I'm seeing the people really dropping back and looking at him as a real jerk.
Okay, and I'm more concerned about the custody. He stole my kid. Well, he brainwashed my child and took him with him. And there's a terrible, like a brainwashing going on. And I'm more concerned about, I don't want to fight the custody anymore, but I want my kid to be safe and him to see the truth. Do you see him eventually understanding?
How old is he?
He just turned 17.
Well, number one there, and this may sound a little strange to you because I know you're a mom and you want to help. I want to say step back. Don't try to pursue dragging the child out and making him communicate. The feeling I have there, I see him making points with him because they use each other.
Yeah, they're like two peas in a pod. They are using each other.
Well, I see them using each other, and I feel the boy is someone that I would not trust at all in any way, shape, or form, because I feel an energy with him that he's a snitch. If he knows anything about you that makes points with Dad, he turns around and tells Dad what he shouldn't be telling Dad. And I see him snooping in your mail and snooping in your home. And I would say, be aware of the idea that you just really cannot trust him. They're two peas in a pod, and you have to step away from it. I feel at a later time when the child is no longer useful to the father, and he no longer feels that he's beholden to the idea of hanging on to him, I feel the child's going to wake up real quickly then and figure out that Dad doesn't care. And I feel the energy with it that you need to just step back away from it. And whatever they're doing, have at it. Don't be involved.
I want to make sure that he's safe and not doing the drugs and all the evil things they're into. So
well,
he has a good foundation.
Both doing it, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, because I see one lies for the other and the other lies for the other, and they keep lying so much that that's the way they live and function.
All right. That is exactly what's happening.
Okay.
I can't find a job. One more thing. I can't find a job. How do you see me financially?
I really feel an energy there that the reason you haven't found a job there is you're supposed to force issues in court to make sure he has to pay.
Okay.
And that's why you're not working, and that's why you don't have the money coming in, because normally you would go out and work really hard for yourself and accomplish things and not make him take care of.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear. God bless you.
God bless you. You too. Thank you.
I'm getting a lot of interference. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Okay.
Suzanne, you're up next with Greg. Go ahead.
Hi, is it Greg or Craig?
Greg.
Greg, hi, how are you?
Gregory.
Doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
What's your question?
What's up? What's going on? Just no really particular question. I know there's a lot of change in my life right now.
Well, transformationally, I feel like you're stepping back a bit and realizing there's new avenues opening to you, that I see opportunity to not only be involved in speaking, but involved in some sort of group or class that you'd have a good time with. You'd really enjoy it. And I'm seeing you participating with a group of people in the near future that I feel you've never done before. And I feel like it's going to be pretty amazing to have some of the connections open up to you, meeting people, that it's going to be very important to allow yourself to do it. And I see that as very enjoyable for you. You're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Well, one question I have in particular, it's related to the talk that I'm doing in South Dakota. I've had to struggle my whole life with my own identity. And it seems like a lot of things in my life line up to characteristics of starseed, hybrid, walk-in, all of these things. Mm-hmm. And I've had such, people might call it paranormal experience, that I've had to integrate myself into everyday life. And it's kind of been a struggle at times. But I feel like I found people that really understand that, like Mary Rodwell and Barbara Lamb and people like that. Yeah. And so my question is, I just feel like in life, I finally, at the age of 62, have landed somewhere.
Well, I feel
more grounded than ever, but at the same time, I'm understanding that connection that I have to the other worlds, if you want to call it that.
I feel very good with that, dear, but I feel an energy with you that coming to the planet and being here in the body now, it's been a difficult energy for you from childhood on, because it felt very strange to feel more and know more, but yet not feel like it was something accepted by everybody else. And now there's people that are supportive, and an energy of support's there, and I see it expanding nicely. And you're becoming more at peace in an emotional level, because there was a time that you felt so confused over so many energies that you felt out of sorts. And now I feel calming down and being able to do the things you want to do and enjoy it more.
Yeah, not to go on and on, but, I've had to own who I am. And at times it's been very painful, where adult women will come up to me and say, "Oh, you remind me of Carrie," like they're going to dump blood on my head or something. And it's like, Carrie is not someone that would win a beauty pageant, And so there must be something about my energy that people can't recognize. My own mother didn't even think I was her child, And so I've had to overcome that. But I finally feel like right now, and I don't know if there's astrological signs lining up, I feel like it's okay to live in my own skin.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you've reached that point, because I feel there was a time that it was such a struggle for you to accept being here. And now I see you accepting it, and you're knowing what role in life you want to really work with and allow it to occur. And that's really good for you. I think you're doing wonderfully with that. Oh. And I'm seeing you making decisions, not immediately, but a little bit later, about making a physical move from one residency to another.
No. You mean out of the country?
I don't feel out of the country, but I feel in an environment, moving to an environment where you have people that are like-minded and they're very open, and you'd be able to really share in that energy. I don't pick it up as when, but I feel like there's an opportunity coming in your life that would happen.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah.
Good. God bless
you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Suzanne. We're going to go back with Sigmund now, Greg, because I now have him connected to us by telephone. So,
right.
Sigmund, you're on with Greg. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Greg. I agree with what you said a couple of minutes ago. I am letting go of people who no longer feed me or support me or are good for me.
Yes, that's wonderful, because I feel like it was very stressful for a while, the energy you were dealing with there, because I saw some people that I would term leeches, and they kept pulling on you pretty hard.
Yeah, that's really so. That makes a lot of sense. Happily, they're out of my life, and I've done what I can to cut the cords and forgive them. But I know it's an ongoing process, because even in thinking about them now, I can feel the resentment and regrets, in my stomach about that. So I surrender that. Thank you.
Hey, Sigmund and Greg, let me interrupt for 1 second, because I think this is important. I've known both of you a long time. This is not like any other era. This is an era where there can be no more effing around. Things are very serious. People don't realize it because the TV keeps going on. Next show, next show, next show, smiley commercial, smiley. Things are near the end now. There's no time for half-ass friends. There's no time for 59-minute friends. Talk to you for 59 minutes. The last minute, how are you? So you're right on track, Sigmund. There's no reason to get sick yourself over what other people are doing. We're hearing Greg go over and over this fact with people. Pluto is very strong. It wants your relationships to be meaningful or get out of town. It's very black and white now. And I know Greg's trying to be real polite, but it really is this intense. It is true. It's validated. Go ahead, Sigmund.
Thank you. I appreciate what you have to say, Rick. I'm concerned about my health, even though I have valuable friends like Rick who tell me that I will be okay, but I'd certainly appreciate to hear from where you're standing.
I feel good with you getting straightened around with health, and I felt an energy there. Would you understand bloodstream and blood pressure, and actually around the heart area, you have had some tests or some sort of a testing of things?
Yes, that's true. I had that yesterday or the day before, and I've had some ongoing concerns with that as well since the beginning of April.
Well, I see you getting straightened around where you're going to feel better, but I do see you doing some more natural things that'll be helpful to bring balance to the body. And I felt another energy there. This is a weird feeling, but would you recognize you've had moments where you felt like your physical muscle structure was actually weakened for a bit?
Yes, I feel that from time to time.
Because I don't see it every day, but I feel at times it's like, boy, I don't have the stamina to do things that I really would like to or want to or in the past could have done.
Yes, that's so. That seems to be ongoing now since the beginning of April. I'm good for a while, then I have to rest, or I'm good for a little while and I have to rest, or I'm good for a longer while and I have to rest.
I see a change of energy where I see more consistency, I feel more confidence, and I feel the energy around you beginning to add in some vitamin mineral content in your body that you're going to be needing, and I feel you're lacking in the body. And if you were to get that checked out in the sense that, going to a regular doctor, they do enough of a blood test to say you're alive and living. But I want to say, let's do a blood test where you really check out all the minute details of what's missing or lacking or low. And I feel that you're going to be able to really add in some supplement energy that would really amaze you how good you'll feel once you do it. And I think that'd make a huge, huge difference. So I want to say, have a good look at that. Also, where are you living at now?
I'm living about half an hour or 45 minutes south of downtown Pittsburgh in a place called Cannonsburg. It's actually closer to Ohio and West Virginia, tucked in the corner than it is to Pittsburgh. It's en route from, say, Pittsburgh to where Rick lives.
Well, let me say it this way. Where you're living is working out perfectly for you, but would you recognize that you've been finding now that you've been rearranging on a financial level, rearranging how you want to have expenditures and what expenditures are important, and what expenditures you're looking at times and thinking, I don't really need to be involved in it.
Yes, I've always been frugal, more or less. I mean, I don't begrudge myself a nickel or a dime as a rule, but I am judicious. But since the beginning of the year, I've been taking more stock and drawing in more closely financially.
Well, I see you organizing things in a good way, and I felt a very positive outcome of that. And I felt an energy that when we get hit with the financial things in the world around us happening, I see you with some cash in hand at home, that the conventional things you need in your life, hey, I have it at hand, and I can go do what I want or get what I want and not have to worry about it. And I feel like that's going to be all right. And I also felt energy there, too. Would you understand you had thoughts about switching banking from one bank to another?
Okay, I'm not clear on that, but I'm happy to hear what you have to say.
Well, I see something coming up here that I want to say. There's a convenience of doing some banking that may be additionally to the one you have, and I could see it set up where I know it'll work well for you and serve you well by having this extra bank. And I have a feeling that the economy is going to do such a flip-flop that, remember a few years ago that there were some banks shut down where they basically shut the doors for a while and didn't let anybody have any transactions, and you couldn't get at any money. And I feel like that could happen in the future again. And I want to say, just having a little cash in hand at home, it's like if I need groceries or gas or whatever, I'm in good shape.
Oh, I see. Okay, I greatly appreciate that. I'll be happy to. We have a little something here or there, but I'll certainly be more willing to have enough for a tank of gas and a couple of bags of groceries if it comes to that.
Yeah, I don't see a big problem, but I feel just convenience.
I certainly understand. I mean, you never know what's what or who's who or what the access is. I'm grateful for your insights.
You know, people don't realize how vulnerable we really are. I know people use their debit cards all the time, and that's all they live off of. And all of a sudden, if the debit card was shut down or somebody hacked it, and then the whole banking system shuts everything down for them, and they're really in trouble with the idea that now we don't have access to anything. And I see too many people that are too dependent on the plastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that certainly makes sense.
I see you doing very well with things, though. We'll put you on the prayer list for the healing, and I think you're going to get on track.
We're getting a lot of interference.
Better.
Yeah, really.
Hold on, let's try to mute. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, I'm muting everybody except here goes Greg.
Yeah.
Let me get Sigmund back on here. We're getting interference from a phone. Hold on, please. Okay, you're back together, you two.
Hello.
Sigmund, you're on. I don't know what happened. Your phone is disconnected for some reason. We got a lot of static. I don't know. Any final thing you want to say to Sigmund, Greg?
Yeah, I see him doing a lot better with the health, and I feel calmness coming, that he's going to be more emotionally at ease.
Sigmund has a phone thing down here at the bottom. You have to unmute him in 2 places. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. I got him one place. Oh, okay. Try it now, Sigmund.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Suzanne. Thank you, Rick.
Okay.
So just in conclusion, you were saying, Reverend?
I feel an energy with you. If you're really getting your health in order, where you're going to feel better and regain more of a stamina and energy, and I feel that's going to help a lot. And would you recognize you enjoy walking in nature? You enjoy being outside?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do that. I try to walk outside just in our little development, which is sort of natural. It's well off the beaten path, and there's almost no traffic at any time. And there's trees and grass everywhere. I do that for exercise. I try to get it a couple of times a day.
I see you certainly enjoying that. And you have a lady on the Spirit Side of Life with you that I felt a very nurturing, very loving energy. When she passed away, she said she was so sick that she reached a point where she did not want to hang on and be here because she was so sick.
Well, that's my loving sister who passed away about 3 or 4 years ago, who was instrumental in helping me support and maintain my health. She was a trained nutritionist and also highly intuitive and empathic. And I think about her frequently and always with love and affection.
Well, I see her with you and supportive of you, and I see her watching over things. And she said, remember what we talked about on a dietary level, because there's times that I want to go back and utilize some of that diet again, and I think it'll help you with your energy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have the protocol. I'll go back over it, and I'll muscle test for everything that's on the protocol. I do test on a regular basis if I'm not sure of stuff.
Yes.
But I am grateful. I am grateful
Wonderful.
that you came through. Mm-hmm.
Greg, that reminds me, I
Thank you
came
so
to
much.
visit you. I came to visit you about 30 years ago, and you sent me to Dr. Terrell, and Dr. Terrell took a vitamin C bottle and held it near his chest and said I needed to take that. And I went out in the car and told my wife, I said, this guy's whacked out. He's trying to tell me by putting the bottle on his chest, I need to take this stuff. Woo! That's how far ahead this guy was. Great guy. Thank you, Sigmund. Thanks for hanging in there.
Thank you.
Okay, Walter, you're up next. You're on with Greg.
Hello, Reverend Greg.
Hi, how you doing?
Speak up for us, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I had this mic. I don't know if it works. I don't have a specific question, but anything you could line me up with.
I feel a lot of energy around you emotionally that I'm seeing you stepping back a bit, and you've been really realigning what you want in your life, because there were so many years there that it was like I was doing what I needed to do because I had to survive and accomplish, and you were doing that. And now I see at a point where I'm really picking and choosing what I want to do and what I really want to be involved in. And I feel like you've been really thinking it over more. Some people refer to things as a bucket list of what they'd like to do. I don't see it so much a bucket list, but I'm seeing, looking at your life now and realizing how much time was spent on situations that wasn't really all yours, and it was other people. And I'm seeing now at a point of, what do I really need and want?
That's just in the right moment. I just came from a family vacation, no? Just go see some family. And I felt just like you say, I was there, but I no longer get involved. I just listen and see everything that's going on, but I don't want to say anything anymore. Just.
Yes. Well, let me put it this way. God bless them somewhere else, preferably further away, because I feel you got some people there that just make you crazy.
Yeah, I was better off this time. I feel like I'm getting there, but when I came back, I had this feeling that something is going to happen. But I tried to stay away try to not think about it. But I have this pain in my left hand, very strong for the last 3 days. 2 days better. I look at my chart and I saw Mars and Mercury were opposing my third house, which is hands, Yes. But at the same time, I was like, what is going on? I never felt that way. But I had this feeling that something in my past, because if this hand happened, something happened, an accident many, many years ago. And it's like I living back these memories.
Well, I feel you have memory that's muscle memory and experiences you had that you may not be thinking about in a conscious level of experience, but your body's reconnecting to that energy and some of the circumstances you would have been in. And I feel reliving some experience that you had with injury, and I'm seeing it coming out of that, and I see it being behind you. And also, what country are you thinking of visiting again?
Well, I was in the U.S. because of family tradition to go there every year and visit my family.
Yes.
But actually, I always trying to go to Colombia or to Costa Rica, but I haven't been there yet. And a family wants a reunion in Puerto Rico next month, but I'm out. I mean, mentally, I'm out of that.
Well,
I
let
don't
me
know
say it this way. I'm glad you're not involved in going because it would be so much drama that you'd want to go jump off a pier.
I felt that drama before, so I figure I better stay away.
Well, I think it's a blessing to stay away, but I get the feeling of you making a trip, and I feel the one country you spoke of there for a moment, I see you making a trip to go to that country, but I feel like you're going to have a couple other people that are going to be going there, and I want to say you'd have fun with them, and I feel going there in a sense of fun. I could see you going and having a great time. And have you ever thought about the idea of doing the ropes and the pulleys where you can roll across the valley or something?
Yeah,
Because I see that in front of you, and I feel it's not in this country, it's over there. And I feel like you'd have a great time, and I see it as being like a little kid. I'm having fun.
Yes, physically, I have avoided that physically because I was having back problems, but now I feel better about that. You know, I don't adventure Sagittarius 3 times, so I kind of like the adventure. But my husband was out from hip replacement, so we've been taking it easy the last 3-4 years.
Yes.
But the last few months ago, we started to do a more adventure stuff. So
I see you back into the adventure and enjoying it, and I felt very comfortable because I feel where you're going to be perfectly safe, and I feel doing the things you're going to be doing, you'll be perfectly safe. I see them very professional about setting things up so you're safe, but I feel you're going to have a heck of a good time.
Now, I have a specific situation. Maybe you can. I'm in with my daughter. She has 2 kids, but I went to her place and I felt a strong energy, something that was heavy. I told her, you know, we got those conversations sometimes where she trusts me, and she told me that my granddaughter was talking to little things, you know. But, you know, I say it's okay, it's normal, you know. She's 2 years old, but she mentioned names and everything. And my grandson was the same thing until a few years ago. And I told her that maybe the house needs some. And she said she did the same, she did everything, but and then I figured it was not the house, it's just the situation they are putting themselves through right now.
Well, I feel they're going to have more contact with spirit, and there's going to be more contact that I would term guardian angels. And I see them around the children, and it's no problem. I think it's going to work out fine. I just feel with your daughter, there's moments that freaks her out a little bit that she has some of the things happening because a part of her wants to know that it's positive, and I really feel it is positive. I don't feel any need for fear.
Okay. Yeah, that's the same thing I told her. So I want to make sure I was on the right track.
Good. Also, you've been having some thoughts recently. Now, I don't know if this is your relationship or just you, but you were thinking about another vehicle and changing or swapping out another vehicle?
Actually, I wish I could live without vehicle, but and my husband is always changing because of business purposes, income taxes. So we try to change it every 4 years just because you have to. It's like a lease situation. But I'm through with vehicles. I don't even drive mine sometimes. but he has to. He's been talking about it all the time. I say, no, I don't want vehicle. I don't want.
Well, I feel it's going to be something that I feel a vehicle that would be possibly a hybrid. And it would
yes,
be
we talk about the
you-
hybrid. We say if it's going to be one, it has to be a hybrid. And I'm going to only have 2 vehicles just because of income tax purpose, but it had to be a hybrid. It has to be something that we help the
Well, they
environment.
were showing me a hybrid, and I feel good about it because it's going to work well for you. But I see something that has like super mileage. I mean, amazing mileage.
yes. Well, we don't have too many options in here, but we have to. We take care of that when it comes to. But
Good.
it's not something that I'm more into saving, planting trees right now, stuff like that more often. But
Yes.
Okay, let's try to move. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend.
We're going to move on to Mark here. Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Greg, why don't we take a chance here for a moment to put, and Mark is up next. Thank you, Mark. Unmute now, unmuted. But I wanted to put this other document. Tell us about this document that I'm showing, Greg. This one here. What's this all about?
Well, this is going to be a cruise, and we're going to be going on a cruise out of Miami area, and we're going to go out there, and it's going to be astrologers aboard, and they're going to be doing teaching for the week that we're out, and I'll be doing some message work, and it'll be a lot of fun on that cruise. If you have any interest or anybody has any interest, contact us with my business line, and we can set things up for you that if you want to be involved, you can go. And it's going to be a lot of fun because we have, I believe, about 5 other people that are going and teaching, and it's going to be a really nice energy.
That sounds like a blast. I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe I go on with you sometime.
Sounds good. We had a wonderful, the way everything lined up was great. And the people that are going to be on board and teaching, what they're doing is while you're out on the ocean, they're doing the instructing and teaching. And then when we go to port, there's no classes going on. You can go to port and go anywhere you want to and do what you want to. So this is going to be Leslie and I's first cruise. And I was surprised by the idea that I was offered to be an instructor aboard also. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll go with you unless you throw me overboard.
I think we'd have a great time, Rick.
Hey, okay, let's move on here. Mark's been patiently waiting. Thank you, Greg. That sounds great. Let's look into that in the future. That would be fun. Plus, I'm old enough. I'm old enough to be on a rocking chair on some boat somewhere.
That's big. The ship we're going to be on holds 4,000 people.
And as long as I got one life raft, I'm okay. Mark, you're on with Greg. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rick. Hi, Greg.
Hey.
Hi. Have a focus question for you. I have a situation unfolding with the home that I own. And I'm wondering what energies you see that might give me some insight.
Well, I feel one of the energies around you there, I want to say, would you understand it's reached a point where you're feeling like you may have to get legal about it to get this in order?
Yes.
Because I don't see this as something I can just talk to somebody and they'll go along with the program. I feel like you're having to do something legal to sort of force issues to get it handled.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And would you recognize also there were some lies about the property that you now figured out was lied about that you didn't know at the time?
I would say there's probably misrepresentations, if you will, and the realities of that are coming home.
Well, I definitely feel the misrepresentation, but I want to put it this way. It's a little stronger than disrepresentation because I feel they knew some things that they basically didn't disclose.
Probably true as well, I suspect, yes.
And would you recognize there's a little difficulty with foundation and something to do with foundation and a possibility of moisture or leaking?
You just nailed it. You just nailed it.
Pluto.
The concrete that was poured for the foundation is basically crumbling. The house is only 11 years old. And
Well-
the situation is to fix it, it's going to cost $160,400,
Oh,
which of
Well,
course
I
I don't have.
I feel an energy there that I want to go back after the home owner that you purchased from. And I also want to say, I get a feeling here you're going to be able to go back and nail the people that put it together, because I feel an energy there. They knew it wasn't right, but they had the quick money in and out and gone.
Yeah, I'm considering suing them. It's just they have more attorneys than I have time. So we'll see.
Well, I feel an energy there that they knew that things were not right, and they went ahead and did it anyhow. And honestly, you're not the only homeowner that has that problem, and I feel they just blew it off and went on.
I think you're spot on on both accounts.
this is Mars,
And-
Mars Pluto.
Would you recognize also the one part of the wall is really in bad shape, and there's two parts that are fairly solid yet, but I feel an energy they do have the problem, but it's not quite as bad as the one wall.
Yep, that would be correct as well.
And I felt another energy there with plumbing, and I'm seeing you rerouting some plumbing and looking at how you want to do it, because I see it as a drain area, because you're beginning to get some moisture seeping into the one wall.
Yes.
Because I see it breaking the cement down faster with that moisture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'd term the drain area a French drain, but there's a drain there that was supposed to be set up to drain the foundation. But I feel an energy there that something is restricted and they didn't put it in and make sure it was open. I feel there's an area there that's collecting water and holding water, and that's adding to the moisture that's affecting the wall.
Basically, the builder did a repair that was done very, very poorly, and it's holding water.
Yes, because I see it like I don't know if I'd call it a puddle, but I mean, there's water being held back that is actually against the foundation, and you don't need that moisture there because that's helping break things down quicker.
Agreed.
Greg's very good on this stuff. He told me to go home, and this was 30 years ago. He said, go home and unplug that plug underneath your bed. I said, what plug underneath my bed? And I went home, and I was sleeping on a daybed at the time, and there was two extension cords joining each other, and they were both burnt. Ah! Greg's got this stuff down.
Well, thank you, Greg. It sounds like, to sum up, that I should pursue legal action.
I would pursue legal action, and I also feel, now, I don't know if there was a warranty on the house or not, but there's something there that would allow you to go after them for repairing, because I feel it was repaired once or twice before, and that was before you had it.
Well, it could have been during construction. I actually had the house built, so the original owner, but it's quite possible the builder did things before I took possession. That's possible.
That's what I was feeling, was I saw something that didn't look right, and it was foundation connected, and they covered it up just to make it look good.
Well, they definitely did some patches on the foundation that would fit in that category for sure.
Would you recognize also in one corner of the basement, the floor has cracked and settled?
Oh, there's more than one corner, but absolutely.
Because I see moisture coming up into the crack, because I feel like there's a spring underneath that property, and I feel you do have moisture there that is not just from a rain.
Well, it's very interesting you said that, because during construction they found a spring underneath the house that they told me they had diverted. So that's quite interesting.
Well, I'm going to say it this way.
Yeah.
They supposedly diverted it, but all they did was make sure enough of the water ran another direction, and then as that direction then got clogged, it started coming back up underneath the house again.
Mm.
Oh boy, it's unbelievable. Good luck, Mark. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
God bless you. You take care. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Mark. Lori, I know you've been very patient. You're on with Mark. You're on off with Mark. You're on with Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hey.
Congratulations. Good. Congratulations on your marriage coming up. That's my birthday, July 28th.
Wow. Thank you.
Right now, the last 2 years, I've just been going with the flow, regathering myself. So where do you think this flow's taken me?
I really feel you're changing your life and direction and belief system. And I feel like you started to really step back a bit and look at the idea of where did I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy. It's almost like saying if it was an investment, was it a good investment? Was it a bad investment? And I feel like you've really started to re-ramp yourself on the idea of what investment you want to get into now, emotionally, spiritually. And I see you opening up to things that are really wonderful for you. But would you recognize you have gotten so tired of people that they really annoy you?
Well, right now I'm sitting at my camp in the middle of nowhere.
Because I see you sometimes needing that space and quietness and just be away from everybody. And that really does help.
Yes.
And would you recognize also, you've been studying a little more about astrology itself?
Yes.
And I see you getting some sort of new program that would help you connect where everything is at and to a degree what some of the meanings would be for things, because I see a brand new program. I don't know if you just got it or this is coming up yet.
Okay, it must be coming up.
And I felt really good about it because I just see it as making it easier for you to pick up on what's going on more readily. And it's going to be a nice energy for you to really learn from. And also, would you understand a little debate going on about relationships, that you've been really redefining what you want in a relationship?
Yes, definitely. I'm going to be very picky on who I let back into my life.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. You had some yo-yos.
Oh, yeah. You're putting it nicely.
I had a lot stronger, but we wouldn't say that over the air. But, you know, the energy I feel there is that they've just termed it yo-yos, and that you've reached a point recently where it's like, you know, I'm thinking about reopening the door again, but I'm getting really picky.
You got that right on the nose. Exactly.
And I feel really calm because I see somebody coming into your life that likes to camp. They like to boat, they like to canoe, they like to fish, they like the outdoors energy. I see them reaching a point in their lives where they're thinking about retirement. They're really readjusting their life now because I feel they've worked a long time and probably could retire beforehand, but I see them working yet, but I see them really a person you really, really thoroughly enjoy. There's a spontaneity there, there's a calmness there, and a spirituality there that he has a gut feel about people that it's like, I like him or I don't, I trust him or I don't, and he has an immediate feeling. And I feel like when you meet him, the spontaneity is there and the lightheartedness is there. He likes to laugh, but he's a very sincere person. You know how some people tell jokes that are sort of cutting? I see him telling jokes, but it's like a loving, caring energy. And I see him actually very supportive. And I feel you're going to enjoy that. And I want to say he's going to present to you that it's really a fun energy, and he'd enjoy your energy very much because you can really allow yourself to relax at times and enjoy everybody. But then sometimes you like your silence.
Exactly, yes. Yep, that's true.
And I see him a person that's also mechanically very handy. He could fix and repair all kinds of stuff. He would have no problem with that. And he already has the tools in hand to do it with. And would you understand where you're living? You've been having some thoughts recently that it's like, I really need to get into the fixing up of some things.
Yes, I'm still moved back into my father's house, so it's old, and yeah, I'm definitely thinking of starting, updating stuff.
Well, would you recognize there's a bathroom area, and there's also a little problem with the one part of the basement that has a little bit of a dampness?
Yes.
Because I see you getting something done a little bit later. It's not immediate, but I see getting something done to seal things up, and it's going to make it dry, and it's going to help you function much better.
Okay.
And it's going to be an easier energy. Also, would you please forget about age? I'm seeing you looking at age and going, my God, I'm that old already.
I know, but I don't feel my age.
Well, you don't look it, feel it, or act it, and I feel you never will. But
Definitely.
I feel like you go through moods with that where it amazes you how much time went by.
That you got that right. It just flew by.
Mm-hmm.
It flew by.
Well,
Now,
I see a companionship, and I feel wonderful. It's going to work well. And I see him a person that drives a pickup truck. He likes to go and do things. He's very handy. I see him enjoying the camping. I feel he'd love the idea of sitting at a campfire and cooking out.
and how soon do you see this?
I really feel during the summer. There's a door
Okay.
opening during the summer and meeting him, and I see a
Mhm.
nice friendship building, and then it really gets more involved.
Okay, that sounds great. Do you
Yeah.
feel anything? Do you feel anything like with my son, like health wise?
How old's your son?
He's 21.
I see him getting straightened around, but would you understand, he did ignore his health for a while, and now he's at a point where he can't ignore it. He really does have to get a grip,
Yes.
because I see him getting a grip on his health and his life, and I feel he can be his own worst enemy.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And I see you at a point where, yes, you love him and you care about him and you certainly want to help, but I don't feel as much you can do to get his mind to function correctly, because at times he has the attitude of ignoring things.
Yes, that's his father's part in him.
Well, he ignores a lot of times, and I feel it's coming to a head, and he can't keep ignoring to the degree and way that he did.
Yep, that's what I keep telling him.
Well,
But he keeps
I'm gonna say-
ignoring me.
would you understand the father's like a little boy in a man's body, and he never grew up?
Oh, I know that. Yes.
Because I see that kind of energy, and I feel your son is following suit in some ways where he doesn't really want to have to be responsible, but things are happening that's beginning to force him to look at things and deal with things. And he normally would just blow it off and go on.
Right. Right. Do you see any relationship between him and his father growing? Because they're not close at all.
I really feel an energy there. They're not close because they're identical.
That's what I feel too at times.
I see things there that are identical, and one can't use the other because the other one's sharp enough to know they're trying to use them.
Yep, that's true.
You don't need the problems, dear. God bless them both. And I'm not going to say good riddance, but I'll say God bless them somewhere else further away. Because I feel that each of them would like to communicate with you when they want something from you, but they're not really giving you energy.
Right. Well, I'm divorced, so I don't want anything from him, my ex.
Thank you, Lori. I'm going to ask Greg a question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Greg, as an astrologer, I see this all the time. I hear it with you too, and I hear it all across the board tonight. What has happened to our society that we got so many people that you can say the following to? You better get away from those people because they're not good for you. They're toxic for you. What has happened that we hear that statement fits almost everybody we talk to? In the 60s and 70s, you didn't say that to people. People were kinder. They didn't want to steal each other's energy. They didn't corrupt you. What has happened in your opinion?
Well, what I feel there is people are now at a point where there's a narcissistic energy, sociopathic energy, and the people that normally would get away with hiding it, it's all on the surface and they don't care. They're just going to be what they're going to be and get away with what they can. And I feel people have become mistrusting because, like you're saying, I remember neighbors that we'd find a note on the kitchen table when we came home. Hey, I borrowed the sugar. It's like we had our doors open for years and years and years. We never locked them. And I find that now there's an automatic mistrust because there's so many people that it's like whatever I can get away with, I'll get away with.
Yeah.
And I feel part of it is there's a series of events have occurred where they're not being held responsible. If we look at the laws and rules and morals and all this, my God, they're not even considering that. I mean, look at the president and all the things that are going on in Congress, and there's laws, and all these laws are being broken, but yet now we got to go to court to straighten the laws out and say what people have to listen to. If you or I did something like that, we'd be in jail.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. Thank you very much. That's what I was thinking. I'm glad to hear your reiteration there. We want to get on through everybody. I appreciate you working like a dog once again. Mary, you're up next. You are with Gregory King. Go ahead.
Hi, Greg. Thank you for taking your time tonight. I appreciate that a whole lot.
You're welcome.
I really don't have a question. I just kind of want to know what's next.
Well, let's put it this way. I feel with you that you have turned another page on where you want to be in your own life, and you started to step back from a few people that are not openly spiritually communicating, and they're very caught up in the physical drama of the world. And I feel that really annoys you, and you love them, but it annoys you because to you it's like, isn't there something more important that we can talk about and deal with?
Yeah, that rings true with me.
And you were having some thoughts recently, a little debate going on that a hesitancy in doing the traveling that you want to do. Because I see you making your mind up about traveling and doing some more traveling, but I feel a hesitancy in you allowing it to happen.
I don't have anybody to go with. My friends are all married or getting too old, and I still want to go.
Well, I see you picking up and going there, and I have a feeling here I would term it a club or organization, and I'm seeing some people in the club and organization that absolutely love the idea that they would say, come on, let's go, and you throw the things in the bag and you're on your way. And I feel the opportunity for that is coming up, and I feel not that they're going to be strangers, because whatever organization energy this is, it's going to open up where I see you meeting people and have an instant connection and comfort with them. And I see them saying, well, we got this trip going here, we got that trip going there. And I want to say there's going to be some things you would absolutely love doing, and you'd have people to do it with. And I feel that it isn't necessarily personal friendships at this point, but I feel they will be personal friendships. And I feel a couple women that they have the security and money to go do things, and they're like you, they didn't have someone to do it with. And I feel like you're going to be in contact with this group and organizational energy, and I feel like that's going to actually be a ball to go do. You're going to have a good time.
Well, that sounds very encouraging. I'm not sure that I want another significant other in my life. I've had two wonderful, wonderful men in my life, and I kind of feel them around me still.
Yes.
But
the one gentleman went very quickly, and he passed quickly, and the other one took a while because he was ill.
Right. Oh, God, you're right on with that.
And you have the one joker there that said to me, he says, when she gets here, I want to know who she's going to give a hug and a kiss to first.
That is so right on. That is hysterical.
Because I feel the energy here. He's laughing, and he said, I'm going to give her a good one here.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I will have a hard time with that. We'll just have to do a group hug.
Well, I feel that's going to work fine there for you. And also in the living, I don't know how old this person is, but there's someone younger, and I feel you have concern for them. But at times you feel like, there's moments where you try to say things to them to guide them, and it's almost like they don't hear you at all.
Ah, true that.
Would you recognize this being a child?
it could be a child, or it could be someone about 11 years, 10 years younger.
All right. I want to actually say it 11 years younger because I feel an energy there that in some levels you feel like they're family.
Oh, he is family. Yeah.
And there's not much you can do because he's consistently a little boy in a man's body.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
And I see you stepping.
I have two of them in my family like that.
Well, I see you stepping back and realizing that I'm just learning to love them and not get caught up in their energy because I feel this guy likes to have the drama going and he likes to involve everybody in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about my son.
Yeah.
And
would you recognize with him, he can get into talking on the phone and he goes on and on and on about some things.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have laid the phone down and gone to the restroom or go get the mail and come back and he'd still be talking.
You got that right. He's an awful lot like his father and his brother.
Well, I just feel an energy with you, dear, that recently you've come to a conclusion that you're not going to go ahead and give financially in the way that you one time would have.
Well, that's not been a big deal. That has not been an issue.
Well, don't be surprised if he comes up with something that's more than what you'd want to do.
Okay. Okay. All right. You don't see any man coming in to making my days much more exciting and attractive?
I feel the opportunity of a man in your life, dear, but you have to take the bolts off the door and take the gum off the peak hole and have a good look.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because for a while there, you welded the door shut. You weren't going to let anybody in.
True that. True that.
Okay, let's move on to some other folks. You got a final thing to say to her?
I feel an energy with you, dear, that there will be an opportunity to have somebody step into your life, but I feel there's a part of you that has a very difficult time trusting because you've seen some people that were real yo-yos.
Here we go, yo-yos again.
Yo-yos before that made me laugh.
And your dog sees spirit, and the one gentleman teases the dog because I feel if he can't get your attention, he'll get the dog's attention.
He does. He does. This dog will sit up on the edge of the bed and bark at night.
Yep.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate this. It made a lovely evening for me, and thank you, Greg.
You're welcome. God bless
much.
you.
Okay, we're going to cut off the feed to YouTube for now. Thank you, YouTubers, for joining us any Thursday night at 8 o'clock. This will be on the web tomorrow in the afternoon. Okay, we are